Voted. And you're not part of this family anymore. Everyone at the table clapped and cheered. I just smiled a little and said, then I guess you won't need this. I placed a folder on the table. The second she opened it, she started screaming. Before we cut the turkey, Natalie said, standing with that fake smile of hers, there's something we need to say. The room went quiet. Everyone stopped eating. I had a bad feeling. I knew that voice. She used the same one when she got me in trouble for something I didn't even do when we were kids. We had a family vote, she continued, looking proud of herself, and we decided you're not family anymore. There was silence, then cheering. My cousin Laura clapped like she was at a concert. Uncle Mitch raised his wine glass. Even my mom laughed and said, well, someone had to say it. I just sat there, frozen. My food was cold, but I was boiling inside. My dad didn't even look at me. He just sipped his beer and said, it's probably for the best. Wow, I said, slowly pushing back my chair. You actually practiced this. Natalie smiled even wider. You've been toxic for years. We're just done pretending. My mom added, it's unanimous, like she was talking about the weather. I looked around. No one stood up for me, not a single person. Good, I said quietly. Then I reached into my bag. I had a feeling something like this might happen. I pulled out a thick folder and set it in the middle of the table. It hit the table with a loud thump that made everyone pause. What is that? Natalie asked. I leaned back and crossed my arms. Why don't you take a look? She grabbed it quickly and opened it, smirking like she always did when she thought she'd won. But as soon as she turned the first page, her smile vanished, her face went pale. She flipped through more pages, and then she screamed, a real, loud, horror movie kind of scream. She jumped up so fast her chair fell over and slammed the folder shut like it burned her. You monster, she yelled, you twisted freak. Everyone gasped. Her husband, Joel, grabbed the folder and looked through it. His mouth dropped open. He looked at me. Is this real? I nodded. It's all real, every word, every receipt, every screenshot. The table went totally silent. You could hear a fork fall in the kitchen. My mom opened her mouth, then shut it again like she didn't know what to say. You thought I'd never fight back, I said, standing. You thought I'd stay quiet, keep paying, keep being your doormat. But guess what? I leaned forward and looked Natalie straight in the eye. Your little performance? It's over. You want to know what's in that folder? I'll tell you, but first, let me explain how we got here. Natalie didn't just wake up one day and say I wasn't family. That idea took years to build, one hurtful comment at a time, one betrayal after another. I was never the favorite. Natalie was the golden child. She got good grades, smiled a lot, and knew how to charm people. She could lie and still make people like her. I was quiet and kept to myself. They hated that. They thought being quiet meant I was weak. I moved out at 19, paid for college on my own, worked 2 jobs, and never asked for anything. Meanwhile, Natalie failed out of college twice, went to Europe to find herself, then came home and married Joel, who's basically a walking LinkedIn profile. And guess who paid for half the wedding? Me. My parents couldn't afford it, but still went on a cruise after. I didn't complain. I paid for my dad's dental surgery. I helped when mom said they couldn't pay the heating bill. I even paid part of Laura's college tuition when she didn't get her scholarship. They always said thanks, but in a way that made it feel like it was expected, like I owed them, since I didn't have a family of my own. I'm single, no kids, just me, my job, and my dog, and to them, that meant I should pay for everything. Natalie especially treated me like her backup plan. When Joel lost his job, she called me, just a small loan. When her car broke down, you make good money, what's $2,000? When her kid needed therapy and insurance didn't cover it, she called me. And I always helped, because I believed that's what family does. But slowly, helping turned into obligation, then into expectation, and finally into demand. First, it was little jokes. Nice wine, you must be doing well, must be easy when you don't have kids. Then it got meaner. You're cold, no wonder you're alone. You don't know what real life is like, you're just bitter. But they still came to me for help, always. Then came the text, hey, can you co-sign a loan? Joel and I want to open a wellness cafe. I said no. Natalie replied, wow, really? After that, they stopped talking to me. Mom stopped calling, Dad barely texted. I wasn't invited to family dinners. Natalie blocked me online and posted about cutting out toxic people. But I didn't sit and cry. I got smart. I pulled up everything, bank transfers, emails, screenshots. I kept records. And in just 5 years, I'd sent my family over $78,000. $78,000. $8,000 for Joel's rehab, $2,300 for Natalie's dental work, which turned out to be for veneers she didn't actually need, $1,500 for my dad's back surgery, $12,000 for my mom's credit card debt, $6,000 for Laura's college move-in costs, $4,500 for a family emergency that ended up being a trip to Cabo, and not once, did any of them offer to pay me back. They just took, and when I stopped giving, they decided I was the problem. So, I made the folder. Inside, I had every transfer confirmation, every email and text where they asked for money, screenshots of Natalie calling me manipulative after I said no to the loan, a timeline of every major payment I made in the last 5 years, and to top it off, copies of Facebook and Instagram posts where they mocked me. I even had screenshots of Natalie calling me a cash cow with no spine in a private comment thread she didn't know I could see. So yeah, that's what she saw when she opened the folder. That's what made her scream, because Natalie wasn't just exposed, she was completely torn apart, fact by fact, page by page, and as this all unfolded, the rest of the family finally realized what they'd been doing. My mom looked like she might faint. Joel stared at one line that said, for $200 to cover Natalie's credit card used at a hotel in Santa Monica with someone named Alyssa, and he just asked, "What is this?" I didn't answer. I didn't have to. For the first time, I wasn't defending myself, I was just showing them the truth. "You kept records?" my mom finally asked, her voice shaking. "Of everything," I said, calm as ever. "You never remembered, so someone had to." Natalie was still standing, pale, her fists clenched at her sides, her eyes darted between Joel, me, and the folder. "This is a violation," she snapped. "No, right?" I said, standing up slowly. "You just stood in front of this whole family and declared I'm not family, you all clapped, and now you're upset because I came prepared?" Joel flipped to another page in the folder. "What's this about Santa Monica?" he asked, voice tight. Natalie snapped her head toward him. "Don't start." "Who's Alyssa?" he asked. "Why were you at a hotel for 3 nights on my credit card?" Her silence was louder than anything she could have said. "Wait," my mom said, holding up her hands. "Can we just calm down and talk this through?" "Sure," I said. "Let's be reasonable. Let's talk about the time you called me a parasite while cashing the check I sent you." She blinked. "That's not fair. We were under stress." "No," I snapped. "You were under stress, and I bailed you out every single time, and the one time I say no, suddenly I'm the enemy?" My dad, who hadn't said anything until now, finally spoke. "You're making this into something bigger than it is." I turned to him, my voice low. "You let them do this to me for years. You knew, you saw it, you heard it, and you let it happen because it was easier than standing up to them." He didn't deny it. Natalie slammed her fist on the table. "You're just bitter because no one needs you anymore." "Wrong," I said coldly. "I'm not bitter, I'm done." She laughed bitterly. "You're pathetic. Do you realize how dramatic this all looks? Bringing a folder, printing screenshots? You think this makes you the victim? You're just proving you're a control freak." "And you're just proving," I said, "that you only cared about me when I was paying your bills. You don't get to play the martyr." She shouted, "You chose to help, you didn't have to." "And yet," I said, stepping forward, "you expected it every single time until it wasn't help anymore. It was duty, and when I stopped, you voted me out." My voice cracked, not from sadness, but from rage. "You didn't want a sister, you wanted a wallet with legs." Joel stood up, holding the folder. "Is this true?" he asked, looking at Natalie. "All of this?" Natalie looked at him, and for the first time, she didn't have a comeback. No fake tears, no deflection, just silence. "You lied to me," he said, "about the hotel, about the money, about him. You made me think he was crazy." "I had to," she exploded. "He was turning everyone against me." "I wasn't," I said. "You did that all by yourself." The room fell silent again. Then my mom leaned forward, trying one more time. Her voice softened. "Listen, honey, we may have overreacted, but this is still family, and family fights. Let's just put this behind us." I cut her off. "You're not hearing me." She blinked. "What?" "I'm not asking for peace. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm telling you I'm done." Natalie sneered. "Oh, stop pretending like this is some big moment. You've said that before." I looked her dead in the eye. "Not like this." I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out another envelope. "What now?" my dad asked, clearly tired. I tossed it onto the table. Joel caught it before it could slide off. He opened it, read the first line, and his eyes widened. "What is this?" he whispered. I answered for him. "Power of attorney forms for mom, revoked. Medical proxy revoked. Emergency contact removed. I've already signed the papers. I'm not legally or emotionally responsible for any of you anymore." My mom gasped. "You're cutting us off completely?" "Yes," I said, "starting now." "You're being selfish," she cried. "We made mistakes, but we're still your family." I looked at her, calm and steady. "No, you're not." I grabbed my coat, gave them one last look, and walked out, right in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner. The food was cold, the truth was out, and no one could say a word. I walked away. And I didn't look back. Not because it didn't hurt. It did. But as I closed their door behind me and stepped into the cold night, something changed. I could finally breathe. I didn't go straight home. I stopped by the lake I used to visit as a kid, the place where Dad and I used to fish. I sat in silence, staring at the water. And for the first time in years, I felt peace. No one needed money. No one was calling for a favor. No pressure, just quiet. The next day, silence. The day after that, still nothing. Then the messages started. First, my mom, missed calls, then a voicemail. "Do you really mean it? We were angry, but we're still your family." I didn't answer. Then Natalie, "Joel's filing for divorce. Are you happy now? Something's seriously wrong with you." I ignored that too. Then my dad, "You went too far. Yeah, we said things we regret, but what you did was way over the line. Your mother's a mess. Fix this." Still, I didn't reply. I thought I'd feel guilty. But I didn't. I slept better than I had in years. No more stressing over texts. No more sudden Venmo requests. No more fake emergencies. Just peace. I started waking up early, taking runs, making coffee slowly instead of rushing. I made all the appointments I'd been putting off: doctor, dentist, even a therapist. Not because I was broken, but because I finally had space to care for myself. I updated my emergency contacts, took my parents off, changed my passwords, froze every joint account, blocked Natalie everywhere. It wasn't revenge. It was closure. A week after Thanksgiving, I got a message from Laura, my cousin who clapped when they kicked me out. "I didn't know you paid for my tuition. I'm sorry, I just went along with everyone. You were always the one helping." I didn't reply, but I read it, twice. Then something I didn't expect, Joel messaged me. "I filed for divorce. Everything in that folder was real. She lied to me too. You were right." Then he added, "You did the right thing. I should have left sooner." That hit different. A few days later, I did something big. I applied for a job in another city. Not to run away, but because I was finally free. No more stay close to help the family. No more guilt tripping. I reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in years, people I'd lost touch with because I was always stuck dealing with family stuff. The crazy part? Some of them saw my post online. They reached out and said things like, "We're proud of you." That took courage. No one asked for money. No one guilt me. Just support. Someone asked me, "Do you regret it?" I thought for a second. No, I only regret not doing it sooner. I thought that was the end of it. But with people like them, it's never that simple. The first few weeks were peaceful. Quiet. Beautifully quiet. Then came Christmas. December 22nd, my mom sent a photo. Their living room, decorations, tree, an empty space where the gifts used to be. "It doesn't feel the same without you," the message said. "Ellie keeps asking why Uncle isn't coming." I stared at it. No apology, no responsibility. Just guilt. "Look who you're hurting." I didn't reply. December 23rd, Natalie called. I didn't answer. Then a text. "I know I messed up, but don't punish everyone. Come for Ellie, she misses you." 2 minutes later, also. "Mom and Dad are behind on their mortgage. The bank called. I thought you should know." There it was. The ask. Wrapped in guilt, fake softness, but always an ask. I blocked her. December 24th, Dad sent a text. "You made your point, but enough is enough. We need help. We're still your blood." That night, I sat by the fire with a glass of wine. No tree, no noise, just quiet. And I was thankful. But it didn't stop. In January, I got a call from an unknown number. I picked up. "Is this Daniel?" a man asked. "Yes, who's calling?" "My name is Mark. Your father asked me to reach out. He said you're the primary person on the family trust." "I'm not," I said. I removed myself. "It was finalized 2 months ago." He paused. "Oh, your father said he couldn't reach you and needed help. They're in a tough spot." Of course they were. The ATM was closed. The backup plan was gone. They were getting desperate. I hung up. But that wasn't even the last straw. That came in February. One day, I got an envelope in the mail, no return address, but I knew the handwriting. It was my mom's. Inside was a 3-page letter. Page 1 was all about regret. "We said things we didn't mean. You've always been the strong one. We didn't realize how much we depended on you." Page 2 was full of guilt. "Your dad's health isn't good. Natalie's all alone. We're worried about Ellie, she's having a hard time." Page 3 was the real reason they wrote. "We're selling the house, but we're behind on the mortgage. We just need a little help, then we won't ask again. Please, Daniel, do it for your dad, for the family." I sat with the letter for a while and let myself feel it all. The pressure. The guilt. The urge to fix everything. Then I folded the letter, walked to the kitchen, and threw it in the trash. Because the truth is, they weren't really asking for help. They wanted access, again. They didn't miss me. They missed the version of me who never said no. The one who paid, who gave, who stayed quiet. But that version of me? He's gone. I'm not their backup plan anymore. Not their bank, not their fixer. I'm done. And the scary thing, for them? I'm actually doing fine without them. I got a new job in a new city. A bigger place, a fresh start. I volunteer on weekends now, not because someone needs me, but because I want to. I built a life where no one calls me late at night to clean up their mess. Where independence isn't punished. Where kindness isn't used against me. I don't regret helping them before. But I do regret how long it took to stop. Want to know what peace feels like? It's not being surrounded by people who call themselves family. It's being free from people who only use that word when they want something. Update, months later. I didn't expect this post to get much attention, I just needed to let it out. But I read every comment. To everyone who said, "You were brave, they didn't deserve you, thank you." I didn't know how much I needed to hear that. Some people asked, "But what if they change?" Yeah, I asked myself that too. It's been a few months now. They didn't change. After everything, the folder, the yelling, the silence, the letters, I hoped someone would understand, that maybe, just once, someone would say, "We're sorry." They never did. First, they got quiet. Then they got clever. Then they got desperate. Then they got cruel, again. But me? I got free. I moved to a new place. Got a better job. Started real therapy. Not the kind where you try to fix others. The kind where you finally learn how to care for yourself. I cook now, I sleep better, I go outside more. And when my phone buzzes, I don't flinch. Yes, I still think about Ellie sometimes. I worry about what she's learning, about what she'll grow up thinking is normal. But I also know, I showed her something different. That it's okay to say enough. A few days ago, I got another letter from my mom, just 3 words. "We're still family." No context, no apology, no change. Just the same old guilt trip. For the first time, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just nothing. I threw it away. Then I made dinner. I came back here because this space helped me see clearly. Strangers understood me more than my own family ever did. So here's what I want to ask. Did I do the right thing? Cutting them off, letting go, saying no, and meaning it. Was I too harsh? Or was I just finally done being the only one holding everything together? I'm not sure. But I do know this. For the first time in my life, I'm not just surviving. I'm living. Thanks for reading. Still here, still listening.